Guys, let's work on the Supra today. All right, what's going on, guys? My name is Ryan. If you haven't been here before, this is my channel. I have an MR2 and I have a Supra. If you're new, thank you for checking in. What we're doing today is we're gonna be doing a compression test on this. I might actually do it on the MR2 also, which is up in the air right now because I'm still kind of working on that. If you guys, again, if you're new, I'm doing a turbo build series on this. I just sold my entire setup and I'm going to this new setup, which is insane. I can't wait to show you guys, but I'm not gonna reveal anything till it gets here. What we're gonna do today is show you guys how to do a compression test and how I go about it. So I'm gonna do every step, every part of it, show you the kit I use, everything. So hope you guys are looking forward to this because I'm hoping that everything's good across every cylinder because I have a little bit of a worry that the number 6 cylinder is, not so great. So let's go ahead and start taking this apart and see if anything's bad or good. All right, guys, so first up here, I'm gonna go ahead and take off each one of these bolts. Also, if you don't already, I highly, highly recommend buying some power tools, guys. This makes your life so easy. Hard hit the ground, we're good. Had to pull up on my weird oil cap. Oh, you would be stuck. So I went ahead and removed the blue cover, which is over there. I was trying to record, but stupid me, forgot to hit the start button. But next up, what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna remove all the coil packs you can see here down the alleyway. There are 10mm bolts that hold each one in. I think there is a total of 6 of them, and then each one is held in by 2 bolts. So, or sorry, 2 rows or 2 packs are held in by 2 bolts, and they come out as a group. So you have 2 here, and then 2 in the back. So 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. They're grouped together like that. So let's go ahead and remove them. What the fuck? Guys, now what I'm gonna do is, now that I have those out, I'm gonna pull them out. I'm gonna leave them all plugged in because unplugging them, you can break the clips and I don't wanna take that chance. So what we're gonna do is, I'm just gonna pull each one of these out and then set them on top of the intake manifold. I'm gonna get a rag here, sit it down so it doesn't scratch anything. But this is just the easiest way, and this is the way I like and prefer to do it. Okay guys, now that I've got the coil packs out here, I've got them off sitting to the side. What you're gonna do is you're gonna start, me personally, I'm gonna start with the number 1 here and then work your way back. You can leave the other spark plugs in. What you're gonna do is take this one out here and then we're gonna put our tool in. But before we do that, we need to pull one of the fuses because you don't want your car to fire up while you're doing this. If you pull your black cover off, underneath of it here, you'll see a bunch of different names for all the fuses, but you'll see that EFI number 2 and then EFI number 1. The EFI number 2 you shouldn't even have in yours. The EFI number 1 is the one you're gonna pull, which is a 38 or 30 amp fuse. If you can see here, I don't have that fuse for the first one. You only have the second one, so you yank that. Literally set it off to the side right now, and that's all you need to do. You can just go ahead and leave this off because you're going to. Crank it over for right now. This will allow the starter to crank over the motor, but nothing will fire up. It'll be able to build compression right now, but you don't have to worry about the motor cranking on you, especially for someone like me, who has no exhaust. And yes, you can do it this way. It's not going to hurt anything because again, you're not firing up the motor, you're literally just cranking it over to get compression. So here's the kit I use. I got this off Amazon a couple years ago and it's worked really well. I just had to figure out which fitting it was, and eventually once I did, I marked it as Supra just so I couldn't forget. I think this goes up to, what is it, 200 or 300 PSI here. Now guys, I will say even with the cheap one, if it doesn't zero out or if it's seems a little high, don't worry about it. What you want to worry about is consistency. That's what we're looking for here today. So say if it goes, we'll just use a general number. If it's at 150 PSI, you want it to be, for the first cylinder, you want it to be 150 PSI across all the cylinders. If you see one that's at 150, then you got one that's like 90, then 180, you've got an issue. So today what we're looking for is a 100% consistency. So let's go ahead and put this in and start cranking the car over. One other thing we're gonna look at while we're taking everything out is the spark plug itself. I am running iridiums in this. We are actually having really big issues with the NGK brass, or I think that's what they're made out of, which you usually want to use on a boosted car as they run much cooler. For whatever reason, we were getting breakup and detonation issues. We switched them over to these iridium plugs and all those issues went away. I think part of the reason was I was using old coil packs. Now I have brand new ones in the car. And the issues seem to go away. So everything should be fine now. What I need to do here is I'm going to check all the plugs as I pull them out, but let's go ahead and put the tool in and yeah, let's go ahead and start turning this over. Oh, one other thing I want to say is all the plugs seem to be good. Like if you look in there, you have a little bit of white residue, which is normal, which is what you want. Everything looks good. So very happy with everything. So let's go ahead and start doing this and start cranking the car over. We almost had a terrible issue here, guys. I almost cranked it over, looking over everything and trying to be calm. I'm like, before I do this, but I almost had a moment because the turbo kit's off. The drain line's open, not a big deal. That's not what I'm worried about. But the feed line's open. That would have shot oil all over the car, the floor, everything. Lucky for me, I have the old feed line and all that stuff, so I can at least run that down into like a bucket or something right now. So it'll squirt out a little bit of oil. Realistically, it's very little. Plus I have extra oil, so I just fill in some more oil, whatever it puts into the bucket or whatever. So I'm gonna go ahead and install that here first. I'm not gonna show you guys that because you won't need to know that for your part of this. But yeah, that was my stupidity. So luckily in here somewhere, I have one right here. Here it is, here we go. And I think there's the fitting tube to the block. So all I have to do is take off the one that's on the block right now and install the new one, which will take me literally seconds. All right guys, so I had to do this, rigged it up, put my old fitting and line on, rigged it into an old Keystone here. So I've got everything hooked up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave the camera up here. I'm gonna go ahead and clamp it down. And what I'm gonna do is crank the car a couple times here and just hope everything works and hopefully I have good compression. All right guys, you saw that cranked. Let's see where we're at. As you can see, we're just below 150 right now, which is, like I said, that should be right about where it should be when it's cold. Could have cranked a little bit more, probably would have hit 150, but again, we're looking for consistency here. So good. Number one cylinder is good to go, and I'm very, very happy with that. So I just pulled the second plug again, guys. Looks very, very good. I want to make sure. Nope, that's just me hitting it there, but yep, nice and white like it should be. Good to go. So let's go ahead and do number two, and then from here on out, guys, I'm just going to do kind of a montage. You guys don't want to hear me keep talking, so let's get this done. Right at the same spot again there, guys, just under 150. Might have to do that one again, guys, there. It's actually reading a bit lower than I'd like it to be. It's about 10 off. Now, you're supposed to, I should mention this also, you're allowed 10 to 15 PSI difference. This is about 10 off, but, so that actually, I'm not gonna do it again because it's only about 10 off, realistically, because it was just under. So that's okay. Number 3 is good. Number 3 is good. That one's good. Good to go there. Just under 150 again. That one's not that good there, guys. It's just above it. We got about 20 off there. So that's one we got to look at. So we've got so far number 5 and number 3 here are a little off from the rest. So we'll have to take a look at that here. So I might retest those again. Let's go ahead and move on to number 6. And the last one too is just around there, just like number 5 is, just above 125 there. I'd say 130, just kind of like the last one. So we're both at 130. So after talking to my buddy Brandon there, just to make sure, whatever, I called Jose at KEYSTONE Motorsports, who you guys know has helped me a ton, making sure I allowed, again, 10 to 15 PSI difference, and I'm within that threshold across the board. 2 of them were around 15 off, a little bit higher than that, like probably around 14, 13. The rest were like, 3 of them were like 145, 1 was 135, and 2 were like 131, 132 from looking at the gauge. So should be good to go. All I have to do is put it back together and let the car run again. Pretty excited. I'm glad that everything's still okay with this motor. I'm still able to drive it. Just needs a good tune. Now that I have the gates and stuff, I don't have to worry about boost creep or any of that nonsense now. Yeah, pretty freaking excited. So let's go ahead and start putting this bad boy back together. All right, guys, so I've got it for the most part back together here. Couple things I wanted to show you is I've got my feed line there I need to take back off because I won't use this with my new turbo kit, but that worked perfectly. If you guys can see down here in the valleyway, I have these bolts in there. And if you can see here, some of them have like these washers on it. You're probably wondering why. Well, there's no bolt that fits down perfectly, and those holes are kind of stripped. I got the head this way, unfortunately. Typical people put a power tool and strip these aluminum heads out. It drives me crazy. So these first 2, the stock bolts work. The middle ones don't. And this one here had like 1 good thread left in it, and I guess it finally just gave way. So I need to get a little bit longer bolt, and I'll have to use some washers to make it perfectly fit, because obviously this is a blind hole and it will bottom out. And then this back one works. So that's all good there. Another thing is, a ton of oil came out. Like half of this can is full of oil right now, the old Keystone can here. So what I'm gonna do is take the last bit of what I have here and put it back into the motor. So it kind of offsets it. But yep, everything should be good now, guys. All right, guys, so just got back from the store there, got myself another set of 40 millimeter long, I guess these are 40 millimeters, is that what they are? Fuck, I don't know, M6 by 40, so I think that's 40 millimeters. Anyway, so yeah, 40 millimeter long bolts here. They're slightly too long. I need 35, but none of the stores carry 35, so I'm gonna have to use some washers to make it up. I'll order some flexed heads, or whatever the heck they're called. I need to order some flanged head style, because these are not flanged, so you try to put a deep well on it. If you're in a tight spot, or kind of like it down here, you have to get your finger to start at least, and then you can tighten it down. Even a short well doesn't do well with these, because there's like this much thread there. So what I gotta do is put like 4 washers on it, start it down, and go with it. So I'm gonna order some 35 millimeter long, get like 10 of them just as backup. Because the factory bolts, I don't know if I have them here, or what I did with them, to be honest. What I do with them, I have no idea. But the factory bolts, when you look at them, that doesn't thread down. It has like typical factory, it has that like little piece to help guide it in, so that bottom part of the threads doesn't get grabbed. So these will grab that bottom part. There's bottom threads that aren't being utilized right now and most likely aren't stripped. Just have to use some washers though as it bottoms out. If not, and it doesn't really hold anything down. As you guys can probably tell too, changed the tire, went out to dinner here with my wife, but car's all buttoned back up now. I got those bolts in and stuff, except for that one hole. I'm gonna have to, when I do look at it, now the coil packs don't move or anything. I would like to have the bolt there. It's just like it's something in my head that's saying like, just in case you want that there. Obviously they designed it that way. But some other things I want to talk about now that I showed you guys all that is some of the things I'm going to start doing to the Supra here on top of it. So when I had this painted, I'm not sure if you guys can even see it here, but like that's not a reflection. That's actually a burn in the paint. And you guys, can you see all the dirt and stuff? It was just done really, really poorly. It's already starting to peel. It just wasn't prepped right. A lot of it's just done wrong. And then I want to have that painted. And then another thing I want painted is the brake booster back here. See all the spots and down underneath here. I'm not sure if I can even zoom in. Can you see all that? Like, it is bad, real bad. It sucks, and it's just flaking off more and more. So I'd rather have this thing just professionally painted and have it done right, so I don't have to screw with it. Just make it like a nice gloss black, and then it'll be done. But yeah, so this is some of the things I want to get done here. With it being winter time, I've got nothing but time right now. Like, it's snowing right now, which sucks. I got the MR2 out today, but it looks like that's gonna be a skinny minute till I get it out. Again, hate that. That's the one thing I hate living up north. One day I'd love to move down south just because I am such a car guy that doing this year round would make me the happiest person in the world. So there is that. All right, guys, thank you very much for tuning in today. I do appreciate it. We're gonna keep continuing with the builds. We're gonna keep grinding away. I'm going to get you guys as much content as I can. If there's anything you need to know, let me know down in the comments below. If there's any questions, concerns, just shoot me a comment down there. It's hard for me to keep up with Facebook and stuff anymore. I've just kind of given up on it. I just can't, I check YouTube regularly. I try to keep up with comments. I either like it or I will comment back if it's something I can give you an answer on. So yeah, guys, thank you guys very much. And I will talk to you later. Peace!